Even don't let other people tell you it doesn't work when you know it works. If it sounds good to you, it's good. You know, you're not making music. You're just gonna be talking the whole time. In the car with a musician. All right, we're doing Faceless today. From Fat Dog Sessions. This like I got a lot of flack for that lyric from Nathaniel. Can't go around without a face, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it doesn't work very well. Yeah, so I was proud of this song. I got that a couple times. Bad lyrics. I don't know. I like them. Uh, All right, so that whole thing is just about kind of trying to find yourself as an adult in your early 20s, and like, what do I want to stand for, and what do I want to do, and kind of becomes me. I talk shop about whatever I'm doing, right? I talk about my job. I become that. You can't go around without some kind of identity. You can't just be yourself. It felt like, you know, this is before YouTube and stuff, I guess. I don't know if that changes anything, but so that's what it was about, searching for identity in that. And then that whole vocal line in the chorus was off of Nathaniel's guitar, bluesy guitar line that he would do sometimes. I was jamming that, I think I was jamming that riff, and he went, and I just ended up taking that and making that the vocal line because I couldn't think of anything. And it was kind of hard to sing and play at the same time at first, but yeah, I think that's where that came from. Now, the lyrics are kind of nonsensical in a way. Never been here before, never be here again. Ever since I was 4, wanted to be 10. What? Never been here in my life before. Ever since I was 4, I wanted to grow up and be bigger. And then now I want to go back. So, I mean, it's a stretch a bit there. But, yeah, so that's what that means. Things are changing again, but in a different way. Okay, more sense here. I've done things I'd rather not say. So, you know, a couple things that you thought you wouldn't do, and you got in a situation and you did something, you kind of, oh, geez, not too proud of that. Weird. Weird alert. Everybody. He's really weird. You're mean. A little dramatic. So there's some of that drumming I was talking about from Laganza. I mean, he's not the only one to do it, but that's where I first heard it, was there from Laganza. And then, yeah, that bop, bop, got. So anyways, I'm playing someone else's drum set. This is the same session as Look and See. And I'm having kind of issues. Like, well, this isn't my habit, like hitting the drums in the middle and making sure I'm not hitting rims. And it was kind of hard, you know? And then I remember telling Kevin, you got to redo your bass line, man, because it just doesn't sound like it knows rhythmically where it wants to be. Like, he had a bass line and it was fine, but when you listen to the recording, it didn't sound sure of itself. And I mean, he never played jazz funk rock field before, right? So that's normal, right? That's a hard, it's like ska, you know, to develop that bouncy swing stuff to sound authentic. It's tricky, you know. So that's one of the things that I love the most about music is when I heard that kind of stuff. So I was kind of good at it. My first song I wrote, I never even thought of that, had that bounce swing. So that became kind of my trademark, but unbeknownst to me, so is everyone else, you know. And doing like, there's a lot of other people that could swing, obviously, but felt like my thing at the time. Heavy rock with a swing to it. I didn't feel like people were doing it that much, and when I did hear it, it didn't feel authentic to me. But that could have just be whatever. I could be wrong. The other thing. Yeah, I didn't know what to do on the drums. It's all right. With a certain crowd of people. You know, I stayed consistent at least. I chose something and I went with it. Sometimes that's the best thing you can do is choose something and don't be afraid about, don't think you got to do so much more. You know, just stick with what you did, you know, and if it's makes sense, then keep doing that and you can tweak off of that, but don't lose what makes it the rhythm that you're playing, you know. So try, just be careful, pick something, go with it, and that worked for me in this case. The certain way, got to find things to do. Occupy your time, occupy your days. That's all you talk about now. So much you don't realize you're changing, but you don't recognize yourself anymore. All these things pushing you down through the floor. Never been here before, never be here again. Ever since I was born to be 10. Things are changing again, but in a different way. I've done things that'll never I say. Don't you take me there, oh, don't you take me there, no. Don't you take me there because I'm trying to stay away. Okay. So yeah, this was on in a parking lot in Marathon, Ontario. It might have been the TB times because I recorded this and I was passing out after the screams, not passing out, but feeling lightheaded and something wasn't right, and that's when I started to realize I was sick, I had TB and stuff, so I was coughing and I wasn't able to sustain those notes. It got a little bit serious and I couldn't go. Kevin was like, dude, you owe it to the band, man. You got to go get checked out by a doctor. And I'm like, yeah, I can't really move. It's like hard to get out of bed. It takes like an hour and a half. I'm having a hard time, you know. And so he helped me go to the doctor and got misdiagnosed a couple times as, what do you call that? Just pneumonia. So they gave me pneumonia and it didn't get better. I was watching movies. I was renting movies back then. And you know, just eating the pills. They were disgusting. The taste it left in your mouth. So I was having like freezes. I was in a basement apartment and it was not that great of a time, and I lived near people that were always trying to go to the bar and you could hear them at 5 a.m. Oh, we're gonna go over there, we don't know where we're going. On tap. No, let's go to the Elephant and the Goat. We're going to a party. We're going to the party down the street, Johnny's house. No, I don't want to go there. Going to the Lydia's. She's having a party. We gotta. I finished that session, so it was left half done. But I was listening to it in Marathon, Ontario, and someone comes up. Is that the new system? And I'm like, yeah, okay, good compliment, but no, nobody will probably ever hear this till today. And I had a hard time making those triplets pop. Did it in the mix, and that's the first time I ever encountered anything. It was like, oh, I'm doing this similar thing in the bass and the guitar, and it's just not popping out in the mix. What do you mean it's not popping out? I'm playing it. Why isn't it not popping out? I don't get it. So, you know, tone stuff, right? EQ stuff. Oh, and I do remember editing this stuff, saying I didn't know if we did any editing, but yeah, we did. And I remember arguing with the guy about early or late. Oh, this is early, this is late. I feel like I was on point. I just didn't have the confidence that I would now to know for sure what I'm hearing. But, you know, so anyways, let's keep going. Don't you make it See, I wanted that snare. I wanted it to be more even, but it was, you could hear a little amateurish, but now it doesn't bug me at all. But at the time, it really bugged me. Like, oh, I could do better. I could do better. I've learned since then that you don't have to be perfect. You have to just like get a good take or two, and then you can take what you need from those two takes, and you can move stuff if you have to. Um, and it's part of the art, you know. Then you learn. You're gonna play it online. You're gonna play it live. Live, I don't, and I don't use. I haven't ever never used auto tune. I almost did. I thought I did once because the guy mixed it for me and he said it sounded weird to me, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I had a hard time with the new stuff, man. I didn't want to, auto tune. It didn't seem right. Now everybody does it, but I still don't use it, and just want to preserve the voice like that guy. What's that guy? Phil from Wings of Pegasus. He's got this authentic vocal thing, and yeah, man. Like, why aren't we allowed to just have voices? Like, I remember. This is a whole other rant, but I remember when things went that way, like 2010. You're like, everything is over auto tune, and it sounds. I hate it. It sounds like shit. But I'm used to it now. But I was like, why are they doing that? It sounds not good. It doesn't sound like a harmony. Like, it just sounds like keyboard. I didn't get it, man. So I just kind of like, as a point, didn't do that. And then he put it on there. I'm like, I guess we're gonna do. And I'm listening. I'm like, you got to take it off, man. He's like, I didn't put it on because there was a weird thing. Compare myself because of the tempo we chose. It sounded really weird and like it had been manipulated. But he's like, no, that's just how you sang it. I'm like, really? I didn't. I don't like that line still. But from Palm of My Hand. But that's a different song. This riff is pretty rudimentary. D power chord, and then walk up to F, I guess. D, E, F, like so cliche, right? But it doesn't matter. I like those little things. And then I put all these other parts. I don't know how that came about. That was in the studio. I came up with some parts, and they're kind of redundant, but they sound okay. So I guess they're okay decisions, but I probably wouldn't choose that stuff now. I don't think. But hey, guitar tones, like I didn't know what the heck I was looking for, but this is the lyrics are starting now. So am I wrong? This is about like being stalwart or being decided on your philosophies and stuff. Am I wrong to sit and wait? Can I change yours too? I don't like that. That's weird vocal thing. I don't like that. Like, yeah, and I remember arguing too with the producer guy or the engineer is like, oh, that doesn't really work. What are you talking about? It totally works. You gotta make your choices and don't let other people tell you it doesn't work when you know it works. If it sounds good to you, it's good, you know? If there's someone in the songwriting group that's always saying this doesn't work and never contributing, get them out of there. Because you're not making music, you're just gonna be talking the whole time. You think I'm lost. It was I claim my mind, but for what cost? Am I wrong for being myself? For being myself. Am I wrong? Could that be wrong? And we got some instrumental stuff. So nothing new happening there, but I'll just turn it off. So that actually, the image in my mind is I used to talk to Jehovah's Witness people or anybody who came to my door. I would kind of like allow them to talk to me and just be like nice to them and stuff. And now I just don't because it takes up a lot of time. And I know what I think now. Then I was like, this guy thinks I'm lost and I shouldn't be exploring ideas. I should just be like in one regimented thing, in this case Mormon or whatever he was. think it was Mormon maybe, and I was just like, and is there a consequence for me not knowing what I believe or deciding on what I believe? Is there going to be So I was kind of just like searching and feeling unsure at the same time, like feeling sure but unsure at the same time. Like I don't want to be like, I know I didn't want to be like that, but I also wondered if I was in the wrong track or not. A little louder here. I like the bass line Kevin played here. This is pretty melodic. Something weird there. Ooh. I like that. I never noticed that. New. Why don't you try to see my way? Why don't you try to see my way? Try to see my way. Why don't you try to see my way? So I layered that. I think there's multiple. I think I doubled that, and I had some harmonies in there. That's when I was passing out. They're like, "What's wrong with you? Something's going on." We had a gig at Hard Rock Cafe, man. It was such a good opportunity, and I realized how bad I was at soloing at the time. I was like, listen to this guy before me, like, and I was starting to feel sick too, and I had the headache, not the headache, but the wooziness, and I'm like, man, I don't belong here. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this, guys. Like, I'm telling them, they're like, don't say that. I'm like, I honestly don't think, and it went horribly. Like, I didn't have it in me, just even the songs, and I was like ashamed of my guitar playing at the time. Now I don't care. Now I know that it's okay to be a rhythm player and not solo, whatever. But anyways, so that went really badly. But yeah, it was those screams, and I had originally written the melody to be subtle, so it would get heavy, but it would go, why don't you try, like an arpeggio thing. I see my way. Why don't you try? Here, I'll try singing it. Why don't you try? Why don't you try? Why don't you try? See it my way. Why don't you try? So kind of that why don't you try over and over. And I kind of liked that. But then we ended up just scrapping it and just kind of needed more energy there. I think Dan, this dude named Dan, got me that guitar tone. I'll dial it in. I have no idea what they're talking about. I'm like, I'm gonna get you guitar sound. I'm like, oh, these guys know what they're doing. I don't. That guy, I was hanging out with him, and we would take breaks and stuff. And then he got fired for some reason. I don't know why. And then Chad, was it Chad? Yeah, I think it was Chad, the other guy. And he was cool, except for the poker thing. And I don't want to. Obviously did a pretty good job because it sounds pretty good. And I was who I was at the time. And yeah, I was a little bitter about that. I remember they were talking about having what's her name, pop punk girl there, Avril Lavigne, in the same studio later, and I'm like, she can't sing, because I heard live footage. Yeah, I know she can sing. I was being negative, but I didn't like her music, and I felt like I had more to offer at the time, and I was kind of cynical, and I didn't know what to do, and I couldn't get my stuff together enough to go on tours and stuff. I couldn't get a band. Every time I got a band, I lost it. And then at this point, I lost everything. I had to go back home, and then I have this recording, and I slowly had to build it up and put it in a collection with another band. And then you gotta make it okay with the band members. Then the girlfriends have to be okay with it too. Like, it's this whole thing. So when it falls apart, it's tough to keep going. But you keep going. Why don't you try? And I wish I did more fills there, but at least it's solid. Like, I was scared because you're at the end of the take, so you don't want to let loose. You're on a metronome, and I'm pretty sure I did this to the click. Don't you try? No fill. Needs a fill there. yeah, so that's 2000, what, two recording? Yeah, around there, 2002. Maybe three, we were wrapping it up. 2003, and then I got sick. Then thought I was getting better, went to a party, heard Mars Volta for the first time, walked home. I'm still woozy. It's been 2 weeks, you know? So yeah, so that's when that all started happening. But yeah, Faceless, man. That was one of my favorites for a while. Now, the drop D, open D stuff is not. When I got a jazz piano player later in the Merchants, when we named it the Merchants, after the sick thing, back to school, um, they didn't necessarily want to play that. They wanted classier sounding stuff, not just the open drop D, blah blah. So I tried to classify a little bit, but yeah, Faceless. Kevin on bass, me on drums, guitars, vocals. That's it. I don't know why we didn't use the drummers we had at the time. Maybe we didn't have one at the time. Can't remember. Yeah, because we never got to record with that really good drummer. And Sandy, I don't know why we didn't do it with him. I knew the songs and I wanted to get it done. I commend myself for that because I never would do that now. I don't think I'd be like, I'm gonna play all the parts. I would try to like share, I would try to get the band together first. But then we could just get lost in playing shows. And I talked about this in another video. We just play shows and our show would be really big and 3 hours, three 40-minute sets, and just doing the cover band thing, but with our songs. But yeah, I mean, that's it. So that one's already up on YouTube. It's been for a while. It just has a picture. Maybe I'll do a lyric video, but yeah, check it out. It's Faceless. Good times. Main vocal, guitar line. Bam, 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 bam. I mean, it's a pretty quintessential blues lick. It's not really, but it worked really good over the heavy. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and this is the end of it. We'll see you next time. In the car with the musician, in the car with the musician, in the car with the musician.